Hello and welcome to Supreme Commander Forge Alliance Forever. This is the first game of a best of 3 series in the FAF Masters Cup, hosted by Mountain, sponsored by Mountain. Juicy prize pool was available in this tournament, and the players are T3 Max here. He's playing Seraphim in the yellow, as usual. The yellow, I mean, as usual. And Nexus over here in the purpley pink, also Seraphim. So these players both chose Seraphim. In tournaments, people often choose mirror matchups to avoid, well, to make it basically a straight up game where you do, as Blackheart said a long time ago, do what the other guy does, but 5% better. That is the idea in these mirror matchups, I think. So let's see. First land. Ooh, 2 air factories planned for T3 Mex after this land factory. He is very well. He likes his airplay. Likes to spam a lot of air and make use of it, and this is a map where you can make a lot of use of air. Definitely, transports are very good. It's a 10x10 map. It's Forbidden Pass V4, and it's not an open map. So we have this river. It's actually a lake, but shaped more like a river, and so it blocks a lot of passage for land tanks unless you have Aurora. There's no Aurora here, of course, no Aeon. But this lake is one of the reasons why we see Seraphim, because you can send those Zooies across and be quite annoying in raid, and of course Zooies are just good in general, but the lake makes them even a little better on this map. So you have a lot of terrain that slows down the travel time. So mostly it's the lake, but it's also, say, this here, you have to walk the whole way around to get to this expansion from your base. And so we'll see air, because of course air is not affected by such terrain features. And we also have these trees nearby, and we have an attack move which is going to allow these engineers to very quickly scoop up all the trees. And we look at the amount of reclaim gained already, 3,200 power. Seems Torrent didn't really do this build too well, honestly. You shouldn't ever be overflowing this early in a game. Should really be more like Nexus. There we go. That's what we want to see. Yes. Slight stall, but that's not that bad. Better than wasting power, really. And so he's gone, I believe, second air and then third land. So we have 3 tanks out now. A couple of inties and a couple of scouts. And already a transport. I like that. Unless Nexus is aggressively scouting. And he should be scouting the base right now, but if he doesn't, he's not going to see this transport, and that's going to basically be a free drop and much faster expansion to perhaps this location or over here. So the further of the expansions are going to be the target. I have seen on occasion people drop their opponent's expansion here, and that's quite a nasty one. If you drop like here and then drop an engineer 2 over here, maybe bring a tank with you at the start, that can be very nice. But we just have 4 engineers because we actually have no tanks in the base to even pick up. So only now another land factory going up. And ooh, a sneaky Zooey. This is a very early Zooey from Nexus. And we have some things rather close to the water. So Nexus has scouted, so you can see this max here, and that will be the target. And yeah, he can then, after killing, he can retreat to the water where he won't be killed, except by another Zooey, or maybe a bomber, perhaps. So there's a scout flying overhead. The drop lands. And we have mexes and land factories planned. Now, one issue I see here is there's no PD. And that's probably... could be an error. We shall see. There goes the first mex raided. And the Zooey is rerouting through the water towards the next mex and the hydrocarbon. Only one engineer in the hydro. It's kind of slow on the hydro, but really what we're lacking is mass, because he's undergoing some big building projects over here that's going to take his mass up. And now we have an air fight. Turin, although he has 2 air factories, he is stalling, so he may not have as good production as he expects, but he still wins air comfortably. Guess he wasn't stalling all this time, so did still have superior production. And wins air, so now we should see... oh yes, we have another drop gonna come. We have a couple of bombers and then more inties queued up in this factory. Now here is a problem. We have some tanks. There's 2 tanks to defend, and there's going to be production out of these factories, so perhaps you can hold on. Should be able to, but PD might be nicer than mere factories. But as of right now, it actually is fine. So quite a few tanks on the top side. No expansion from either player. Nexus stands guard to stop any drops from landing, and engineers landing and building a base. Over here, expansion, similar times for both these players. Ooh, this Zooey has killed another mex, and it's gonna kill the hydrocarbon as well. That is nasty. 1 vet now on the Zooey. Epic raid, honestly. Very nice. From Nexus, abusing the Zooey. Oh no, save him. Oh. Oh well. One last parting shot to the Tham. Sets him on fire. So here we go. Oh, a bomber already in anti-air. Nice stuff from Nexus, but he loses the engineer and the radar there. They stood next to each other. There's another dead radar. Every radar is 80 mass, and it dies instantly. So not nice to lose those. Nexus now building his base. Oh yes, on this map you can walk over this thing here. So this is generally where the ACUs expand to, because of course it's going to take an extremely long time to get a tank here all around the place. So you just walk across with the ACU and build a base. Quite an important feature of the map, so I should point it out. Is this transport been idle this whole time? Could pick up a few tanks perhaps and find somewhere good to drop, although there's not really many options. This is really... Nexus needs to expand, because right now T3 Mex, that is Turin, he has more map control. Transport from Nexus now, that's going to be used to drop over here. You can see the order given, and I can hear another bomber somewhere, but it may already be dead. Oh, the Inti's gonna land, take some shots, but this is a much stronger force for Torrent. And he's had this base up a while now. A lot of production coming out of here, and there's a lot of T1 land production all over the place, and you can see no T2 Mexes whatsoever. If we look at Nexus, oh, he almost has his first one. Nexus, you can count on Nexus getting his T2 Mex before his opponent almost every time. That's just how he plays. Throws up a PD with about 20 engineers. Probably drained his economy hardcore to make that. But looks like he can defend now. And he's dropping his expansion to finally achieve parity in map control. Total mass though, we're very similar in income. And Torrent losing some forward buildings here. And oh, here comes the ACU now to reinvigorate this push on the right side. And you can see the mix of units here. We have many Zoes, 18 Zoes and 38 tanks. Quite a bit of resources actually. So maybe we could see even more T online. Maybe it's time for T2 mechs. There we go, there's one started. Some assistance on that wouldn't hurt. Let's take a look at the air, because I think Torrent should still be ahead in air, honestly. I don't think Nexus has added another air factory, and oh no, I'm completely wrong. He actually has 3 air factories now. Not assisting them. Oh no, slight assistance, but nice adjacency. So we had 15 for Torrent there a moment ago, only 11. So Torrent's still ahead in the air game. And Nexus struggling a bit for power. His forward PDs are going to go down very shortly. They're not defended by his tanks, unfortunately. That's a problem. PD really has to be defended by tanks, or actually defended by arty is quite nice as well, so you can outrange. You can stand next to your PD and kill the arty that's killing your PD. And Torrent is almost on his first vet level, just about to get it. You can see Torrent leading from the front. The ACU is going to take the shots, keep the units alive behind him, and the units will prevent him from getting surrounded by his enemy units. But you see, the commander can take all this damage and you don't lose any DPS, and in fact you whittle down the enemy's damage potential and gain veterancy. So that's why you lead from the front. On the other side, however, Nexus a bit behind his tanks, but you can see now he's going to retreat. I don't think he has vision here. He has no radar. Oh, he has a very nice air scout. Now Torrent needs to take this out, because there's no vision for Nexus once this air scout goes down. And similar damage on both sides. Nexus making huge gains, but Nexus has no artillery whatsoever. On the other side, Nexus trying to use bombers. I think the bombers should go after the artillery perhaps. But oh no, Turin could die here. Is he just suiciding? It's down to 4,500 HP, and he's in range of T1 PD and a lot of tanks. 3,000 HP. Oh no, there might have been a chance to block Turin there, but he gets away. And now it looks like we'll have an air fight, but Turin surely has more here, significantly more. Turin turns. The air micro begins, and there's really no hope for Nexus. He's going to lose all of his air. Now his bombers are still doing a lot of damage. 7 kills there. He just bombed a horde of Zoes, but there's still so many Zoes, and these clams have gone up the mountain and need to find their way back down. A transport. What is happening here? That transport is dead, but it hasn't actually... That's very strange. Anyway, Nexus base is getting ravaged. All of these were power generators. Power generators are expensive buildings, and he's lost so many of them. And there's more units coming on the left side. There are PDs and factories producing tanks. And oh, look at this very nice raid here. He's going to take out the factory. He's going to take out all the mexes. Many things are dying here, and Torrent has to send units back. For fuck's sake, says Turin. This is it's gone a bit crazy. And more raiding from Turin now. There's so much mass in the base. So much mass. Let's see. What have we got? Yeah, lack of power now. We need... Maybe he could steal this hydrocarbon. That would be nice. but he has no air. Nexus has no air, and he has no Zooies. No, scratch that. A single Zooey that has 13 kills. What more do you need to know? Why are you not building more of these things? He has 13 kills, and it goes down. 580 mass killed by that Zooey, the only Zooey he had. Nexus, you can see Nexus is more careful with his ACU, and maybe that's a problem. Another thing about Forbidden Pass, once you actually get to the base, you can stay outside the base and hit so much stuff with the Zooies. For example, I mean, it's actually, I think you probably can hit less from the bottom side base, but here comes Torrent. The base has almost been wiped completely. The T2 mechs, there's no trace of it remaining. All the reclaim is gone from it as well. Completely overkilled. And Torrent is here in the base. And he has a lot of Zooies that are going to melt everything. And he also has some air over his head as well. There's no way into this base now because there's no artillery. That's a disgusting Seraphim orgy of shifty proportions. All these PD mean there's no way into the base. And now Zooey's coming across the water to try and help out as well. And Torrent's run over the base. And now he can start to rebuild. He's not actually rebuilding on top of the... See, here he could build on top of the Nexus's land factory, and it would build a lot faster. That might be nice. But what is going on with this transport? It's dead. There's no icon, which means that it is dead, but there's no wreck, and it hasn't fallen to the ground. It's in purgatory for its crimes. And now, well, how can Nexus get back into the game here? He just lost so much. I mean, his entire main base. He still has reasonable mass income, but I feel like he has, yeah, very low power income. Needs to take this. Yeah, he has queued up the hydrocarbon now. And is rebuilding his power here. The lack of Zooies, I think, was the problem. But now Torrent is building so many bombers. Maybe he should just go T2 air and make gunships instead. That might be better because Nexus has quite a few T1 anti-airs around. Let's take a look at the armies at this stage of the game. 24 Zooies now, 60 tanks, 13 anti-air. Ooh, that's a rip. That is a lot more army here. 100 tanks, 70 Zooies. And of course air control, given the complete lack of power for Nexus. He doesn't even have an air factory anymore, does he? No, he doesn't. Still has some air scouts somehow. Torrent should really pay attention to the air scouts and kill them. Oh, uh-oh. Where are these bombers going? And they're splitting in a very ominous form. And there's a lot of P-gens that just got hit. None of them died, but there's no anti-air right now. And this is gonna be GG. Nice way to end it. Look at that. Beautiful. Goodbye, P-gens. And you cannot play this game without power income. No more than you can play it without mass income. Oh, we left some alive, but it looks like he can go kill. He can kill a lot of stuff with these bombers. Now, oh, Torrent even has the gun, so he should be very safe from some tank attacks. And now all the anti-air comes out of these factories. A bit too late though. And yes, Nexus says time to raid my base. Unfortunately, there is a gun commander there. You can see Torrent has sucked up all the mass of this base. Got a lot of reclaim. 9.7 thousand to 3,500. Huge difference. And yeah, raiding your own base. It's probably wondering how he ended up in this situation. Blame the Zooies. And I think Nexus will call it pretty soon. He's down 240 power income. Not stalling because he's lost a lot of his mass income as well, so it's all balanced out. Still getting some raids done with these Zooies, but it's just not gonna be enough. Unfortunately, the only way is to kill the commander because he is so far behind in standard terms. 50 tanks, 20 Zooies, will speed it up slightly. And now Torrent going T2 air, which is good. Couple mechs upgrading now as well. He's trying to get rid of this mass. Trying to raid. He killed the factory, didn't kill any of the mechs though. And I think we had some probably some connection problems. These two have third world internet in the first world, Germany and America. And Nexus asks for a re, of course. Cheeky. Oh, he could have had a nice base trade, but Nexus failed to deliver, unfortunately. Fortunately for him and for us, he could not break the base of Torrent. And there we go, Nexus calls it. Dumbest game. Oh, what sights we have to see in the next 2 games. He will eat those words. He will eat those words. Just wait for the next 2 games from this best of 3, guys. I hope you enjoyed this one. This was quite nice. The next 2, well, you'll have to wait and see. What is up with this transport? I've never seen something like this. I've seen a lot of shit, but I've never seen that. I didn't even see it when I watched the game before. It's quite strange. Anyway, hope you enjoyed this cast. Thanks again. Hello to everyone, all the new subscribers, and check out the next one. See you soon.